Last week, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a plan to prevent the risk of another credit rating downgrade. By ensuring that the U.S. will not default on its obligations, the House made the responsible decision to stop playing politics, at least for a while, with our nation's creditworthiness and to prevent self-inflicted harm on our economy. But despite this effort, the House couldn't pass up the opportunity to try, while doing the right thing, to score at least one political point. We're now considering the measure they passed. This legislation, the No Budget, No Pay Act, coming directly off a campaign document, insists that congressional pay be linked with a passage of a budget by April 15th. I'm fine with that, that we do that, and if we don't get paid. But let's not forget that the Senate passed something even stronger than a budget for the past 2 years. We passed the Budget Control Act, which reduced the deficit by $2 trillion. That's $2,000 billion. Despite this, House Republicans have no problem misleading the American people with their language, preventing senators from being paid until we pass a budget. Well, Madam President, I don't have a problem with the no budget, no pay, but why stop there? What about no jobs bill, no pay? In 2011, the Senate passed my legislation, bipartisanly co-sponsored with Senator Graham and a number of other Republican senators, Senator Byrd, and a group of Democratic senators, passed my legislation to punish China when it cheats, when it manipulates its currency. The bill could create more than 2 million jobs, mostly in manufacturing. We know what would happen in places like the presiding officer's state of Massachusetts and my state of Ohio with lost manufacturing jobs. Despite the clear evidence that leveling the playing field on stopping currency manipulation would create jobs, despite the clear evidence of an overwhelming vote in the Senate and 2 years ago an overwhelming vote in the House on the same issue, this legislation's languished in the House for the past 2 years. But why stop at the budget? Why not a no farm bill, no pay legislation? Congress is obligated to pass a farm bill every 5 years. The Senate passed our bipartisan farm bill, which, among other things, saves some $20 billion, direct savings by eliminating the long-time discredited direct payment program. It would save $20 billion, but again, the House refused to act. What about my legislation linking the age at which members of Congress can collect their pensions to the age at which working Americans are eligible for Social Security? Some people in this body, especially in the House of Representatives, want to raise the retirement age for Social Security, yet for themselves, ourselves, if we retire earlier, collect our pensions before that age. If people here are going to raise the eligibility age for Social Security, nobody here should be able to collect any retirement benefits until that same age. Citizens in my home state of Ohio, in places like Middletown, where workers have watched paper factories get priced out of the market because of unfair competition with countries like China. In places like Cincinnati, where call center workers are watching their jobs get contracted to the Philippines. In Worcester, Massachusetts, or Worcester, Ohio, too many cases of shut down plants and moving overseas simply or mostly because of currency, not to mention tax breaks that allow companies to deduct the cost of moving their plant overseas against their federal tax. Those are the kinds of things that average Americans are waiting for the House of Representatives to act, legislation that will make a real difference in their lives right now. Like I said, I'm fine with the No Budget, No Pay Act. We should pass a budget. We should move forward on that. We need to raise the debt ceiling and stop playing politics with this, but let the House of Representatives get moving on the issues that affect everyday Americans. That's all about jobs. That's all about this economic recovery. Madam President, I suggest the absence of a quorum.